Yasu Malaka. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Computer Love, Part 29.
There are actually multiple sites that will allow you to find your soulmate behind bars. Since prisoners tend to have limited access to the internet, some sites require the inmates to write their profiles by hand and mail them in.
I gotta say, you were the cutest gunslinger I've ever met.
Thank you so much.
Nevertheless, some inmates do succeed in finding a love match and actually getting married while incarcerated.
That is fucking crazy. Can you imagine marrying somebody that, I mean, obviously, I guess they meet the people there. They just showed like a couple, seeing each other, but obviously there's glass between them and they're kissing on the glass. And I don't know. I didn't see any shit like the cable guy. Oh, Billy. That was actually taken from an old movie from I think the 70s. But the point is, this is some weird shit, man. But again, I mean, not everybody likes to drop the soap in the shower, so it is what it is. It is what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to say here is that pretty much everybody in this world, I think, uses online dating at some point. If they say they don't, they're probably lying or very, 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 very old. And I get it. Back in the day, you just go out to the old sock hop and, do the Charleston and just go nuts and, find a good looking broad who, doesn't have syphilis and just go nuts. And, even if she did, I don't think anybody gave a shit. I don't know. People probably lived to the age of 35 and, they're just living their best life. Who cares, right? I don't know where I'm going with this, but again, ladies and gentlemen, another exciting episode of Computer Love is about to happen, and I'm getting tired of this shit, man. But am I gonna stop? No. Why should I? There's always gonna be stories out there, and things that we can learn from this, I guess. And I don't know. That's what I just keep telling myself. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I like to think I provide some kind of service here, right? So, let's just go, huh? Come and knock at our door. These dating apps are for you. Where the fuck am I going with this? Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of times you talk to people online and it's not so much your story, it's their story. And I think a lot of people like that, they just like to get their story out there. And this one woman I was talking to, of course it didn't work out because that's my life, but she sends me this, again, telling me stories about her beautiful experiences. And she sends me this picture. Now, she's an older woman. She's probably, let's say 40, give or take, something like that. And she sends me a picture of this guy. Again, I know it's an audio podcast. Let me do the best I can here, ladies and gentlemen. Picture, I don't know, let's say a really not that muscular, but let's say, pretty much the same build, but a little bit more muscular built of, let's say, Travis Scott. Yeah. But his thighs are like the size of my fucking head, and they look like they're about to fucking explode, and keep in mind, this guy's only 22 and shares the same name as me. So I just realized that maybe that's why she's telling me this story. But yeah, and she's kind of thrown off by this. And yeah, it's crazy. But what's really crazy is like I was so distracted by like the picture, and like was this guy gonna pull some shit, that I looked a little lower, and he wrote something very disturbing to her. He wrote, "What do you usually smell like?" I'm gonna repeat that again. What do you usually smell like? And I didn't catch this at first, and like at first, like she sent me the picture. She goes like, like what the fuck is this? Like I thought it was like a Astro World on steroids, and I was just like, dude, LOL, like. And yeah, she's like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, yeah, man, you tell me. And she texts like, I smell like a restraining order. So she's got a good sense of humor. I mean, that's funny, And I'm just like, this is fucking weird. And then I realized like what the fuck he wrote back, and I was like, oh shit, like that's what she's referring to. I'm like, holy cow. I guess it's fucking crazy. And she's like, what do I usually smell like? That just sounds so gross, And yeah, it's again, the shit that women put up with, like it's pretty crazy, She's like, yeah, guys are ballsy today. I can't believe sometimes the shit that comes out, but beyond a keyboard, I guess, had a guy ask me to fuck people in front of him. Boy, this conversation just is just flowing. Yeah. So I don't think it was this guy. I think it was like another guy. And I'm just like, holy shit, like this is crazy. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, yeah, I think at this point, the male race is not looking the best right now, but. She asked, you want to talk over the phone? I said, I'm busy right now. I just can't, whatever. And, but, like I said, no, but she took it as like a kind of a disrespectful, like, like I just said whatever. And she said, like, I would have liked to continue, but when you said flat out no, it kind of seemed like you were annoyed. And I said, well, where assuming gets you, I'm, I'm like, whatever, like, what's the big deal? But she was one of these women that would always like message me and, like random stuff. Like she messaged me a picture of Chewbacca dancing there. And I don't know, she's trying to make fun of my Greek and Italian heritage, being, hairy, and then she would like share like all these weird like comments and shit. And I like she even sent me something like, I was in an abusive relationship for 15 years. He completely broke me, would gaslight me all the time, emotional and verbal abuse, financial abuse, in brackets, had no idea what was going on with our money. Would throw shit and get in my face. He was so good at manipulating that he made me believe I was the problem. I literally trained myself not to talk because if I did, he would start. I would have anxiety attacks hearing him coming up the stairs to our apartment. I was afraid of him, and I still am. That's I mean, it's crazy. It really is like what a lot of people have to put up with. Especially women. I mean, it's really crazy. And keep in mind too, like we're just talking like via text. We exchange numbers, and I mean, I feel bad for what she's going through. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, this is coming out of like nowhere. I mean, she even texted me like my mom would get off the phone with me and say to my dad, I don't know who I was just talking to, but that wasn't my daughter, And I'm telling her, like, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, she hid through all this shit for years and years. And, I'm just, I'm like, again, I was like, sorry, you have to go through all this shit. And she's like, thank you, I'm moving on. But those are definitely scars that I will never heal from. you know. And she even told me, she said, I'm terrified of getting into a relationship and the cycle of abuse continuing. I know I want one, but what if I pick the wrong person? I did once before. How do I know even to trust myself or like my judgment? And it's true. I mean, you know, like you go through a bad relationship, you think everything's, you know, well, not good, but like, you know, you think to yourself, I'm a good person. I didn't do anything wrong, but maybe it's something I did. Maybe I fucked up and people look at me the wrong way. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. Da, 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 you know, so it's crazy. You know, it really fucks with a person's head. It's crazy, you know. And then she even told me, she said, like, I've heard about girls that try and get hit, like hit up for guys for money, and you know, I was like, excuse me, you know, not my cup of tea, and LOL. Yeah. Then he took a step further, saying, I will do whatever you want to you or him. May LOL block. All right. So she got a good sense of humor about it, at least. I mean, that's good. I mean, you know, she takes the good with the bad. That's good. You know, so other than the vampires you talked to the other day, what was your, you know, or what have your experiences been? You know, when was your last relationship, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, like, you know, I was like, just listen to any fucking podcast I did here. But, you know, it's, again, this is a lot to handle, man, for, you know, just someone you've never met before. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, it really is. I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize that. I mean, they've gone through it, they live with it. And I'm not judging, and don't get me wrong, I've clearly been through my shit on episode 29. But, you know, it gets to be, you know, pretty crazy. So, you know, I was even thinking of even meeting her. Worst case scenario, meet her for coffee. Who knows? Let's see what happens, whatever. But I don't know. It seemed like she always had to not have her way, but just it had to be in a certain way. And all the shit she's been through, like, I don't blame her. And I don't personally, all this, I don't think she's ready for. I don't think she's ready for anything yet. I mean, I think she's aware of what she doesn't want and whatever. But you know, it's I don't know. It's pretty crazy. And I tried to kind of imply that, you know, whatever. And you know, but you know, like I said before, like, you know. She said, you know, I seem kind of annoyed and, you know, whatever. I'm trying to be nice about this, you know what I mean? So, and then, you know, she's like, okay, I think this is done. You've obviously, you know, like annoyed. I said, no, there is no reason to be rude. Please stop messaging me. And I'm like, I get it. You know, it's cool. And I'm trying to say, look, I'm trying to, but still, I like to talk to her and just say, look, it's cool. It's just, I don't think you're ready to date or whatever. And, you know, I'm trying to convince her like otherwise, like you're a good person, da da da. But again, we've never met before. I'm like, what the fuck, you know? Like, what are we doing? What am I doing? What is she doing? It's just, it's crazy. But this is how crazy the whole online thing is. So I'll take responsibility. You know, I'll take the hit. It's cool. You know, no worries there. You know, I mean, maybe I could have been a little bit more. Well, I think I was sympathetic, but at the same time, I don't. I mean, maybe I could have been more. I don't know, more direct, whatever. But again, I mean, some of these stories, man, they just like come out of nowhere. But and then, you know, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of an emoji, but she literally sent me. I don't know. I got to count them here. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so that's the first line. So let me count how many lines there are. So 14 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5 lines. And so I don't know. I'm too tired to do this. So, but it's a shit ton of lines. So there you go. And she sent me like every single emoji. I mean, some of them are just like smiley faces, wink faces, peace faces, heart faces, balloon face. I think she sent me literally every single emoji on her phone. Is it ironic that the last one was a pussy? Who knows? Pussycat, guys, relax. And then peace out, sunshine, and 4 peace signs. So, well, you know, at least, you know, she left on a positive note. But the point is, The best advice I can give to anybody here is, listen, this online dating thing can be for anybody, literally. But at the same time, you got to be ready to. You got to be mentally ready. I feel too, like not just like to deal with the shit online, but at the same time, everything in your life has got to be square. And she says she's ready to move on. Maybe this is like just baby steps, whatever, and she'll reject the first few guys and whatever. We didn't get along, whatever. It's cool. I get it. Again, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Sorry, I was just looking for the tea emoji. No, a couple. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4 birthday cakes. No, five. This is what's that game called on your phone where you gotta like match up the colors and it's almost like Tetris? It reminds me of this shit. I don't know, but yeah. I think is there a pony in there too? Okay, rocket shift. Okay, there's a sick face. I don't know. Am I? Yeah, this is this is a puzzle I will not figure out. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, just make sure you're ready mentally, and I'm not judging this person. I'm not judging anybody. That's not my cup of tea. I'm gonna keep saying that, although I don't drink tea. But just first of all, way too many emojis, and two, just think about what you want in life, and like if you're not ready to move on, that's cool. Take some time for yourself. Be single for a while. See what that's like, and then when you think you're ready, jump into it. Yeah, and then you're gonna need to be ready for the 22-year-old that's on steroids and. I listen. I don't go to gyms. It's pretty obvious, but I don't know. Do we really have to take pictures at the gym? If you're a beautiful woman, keep doing it. But guys, come on. It looks kind of desperate. It doesn't look the same. It doesn't. It's like that episode of Seinfeld where that chick would walk around naked around Jerry's apartment, and Jerry ended up getting naked, and he's like, "Well, what's wrong with this? You're naked." It's like that's not a good naked. So it's. I'm assuming it's like the same shit, towards women. So, just nobody really needs their thighs to be that muscular. I mean, it's like I don't know if I don't know. I'm having flashbacks when Donovan Bailey beat the shit out of that American there. Cramp my ass. But the point is, just make sure you're ready and. Then you can go on with online dating. And again, I will say this again. Stop with the emojis. It's well, I mean, do one or two. That's fine, but you don't have to give me every fucking one. Okay, so I don't know what else. What else can I say? Peace out, sunshine back. It's funny too. I zoomed in on it. There's actually I mean, they have a donkey one where it's actually kicking back. I don't know why. I don't know why I find that funny. Donkey. I think the new Shrek movie's coming out 2026. Cool, man. Moving on. So this one woman I was talking to, she was actually on the dating app Bumble. Did you guys ever see the one message that the girl got a few years ago? It was he actually admitted that he was in Washington, January 6th, storming the Capitol. What a dickhead. Anyways, Bumble's a weird site because Bumble, what happens is women have to message you first, So, but I never understood that. Isn't that sexist? I mean, what if there was a site out there that guys could only message first? You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I'm just saying it's a little. I don't know. But it seems a little one-sided, but what are you going to do? Anyways, yeah, so I'm messaging her, I'm fine, how are you? I'm good, how's Bumble treating you? It's treating me good, blah, 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 all this shit. And then, what do you, and then I'm like, oh, like, what are you looking for? And she says, I'm here only for marriage if I meet the right man. And I'm like, okay, well, I never understood this. Like, I again, like, first of all, it's either one of two things when someone mentions his marriage in, like, the third or fourth line. It's either it's a scam or you're fucking crazy. Maybe both. You never know. Crazy people need a paycheck too. And then, she's like, I messaged her something, like, what's going, like, how about a date first or whatever? And she's like, yeah, I get that a lot. I don't think I have a secret. Oh, no, I messaged her about her looks because, again, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, black don't crack. So, yeah, she looked good. And then she's like, oh, I'm just blessed and trying to stay away from too much drama. LOL. And then I made a joke. I said, like, you don't want drama, and yet you want to get married right away. LOL. And she says some marriages are drama free, which again is complete bullshit. I mean, she even laughed like just before she said that, but I'm like, come on. Ladies and gentlemen, to this day, no bullshit. I've yet to find somebody who's in a happy marriage. I met someone one time, and I still don't believe it. So maybe one, but I don't know, one out of I don't know what 10,000. It's not good odds, man. I don't know. I don't know. But she said, I'm not asking you to marry me, thank God. I am not interested in marrying every man I chat with. You can relax now. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Yeah, no, but she implied, like, I don't know, you may not want to lead off with that. You know what I mean? Like, how about hi, how are you? Things are good. I use, some stuff for my face so it looks younger. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Whatever. It's going on a date. Let's find out if we like each other. We probably won't like each other, and then that's it. The marriage thing can come later. Misery, loves company, and that's pretty much explains marriage. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just kidding. I'm not against marriage. But at the same time, let's go on a date first before I buy the ring, so. But once again, this does not seem like the best love connection, but what are you going to do? Things happen. But all I'm saying is, in the beginning of a chat, let's not automatically say, hey, I want marriage. I mean, most people just say, hey, I don't know, like I want a date and a sandwich. That's it. I mean, just, let's figure this out over a cup of coffee, or, I mean, if I ever did go on a date with this woman, definitely some tequila. But other than that, let's just ease into it, shall we? That's all. Just let's take our time. There's no rush. That's all. The average engagement ring is 2 months' salary. Shit. Whose salary, though? Hers or mine? Dutch? This is why I'm single. So I'll leave you with one more very interesting story. So again, ladies and gentlemen, one of my biggest complaints about online dating, especially recently, is when you put in, the distance. And again, I usually put in like 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers. I'll be honest, I don't want to travel that much. I don't. I really don't. So, but of course, it gives you random places in Ontario because I'm located in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I'd like to meet someone close. But then sometimes I go on and it'll literally just say like the first 10 people. It'll say like New York, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York, Sudbury, New York, New York, New York, Detroit, New York, and so on. But it gets really frustrating. And then finally, you meet someone who, hallelujah, like she's maybe, like, she's close, man. Like, she's really close. I won't say how close, but very close. Very convenient. You're like, all right, we got something here. And then, you know, we start talking, and good looking woman, you know, that's always a plus, right, guys? She works, she has a good job, she's been doing it for a long time, good, stable, you know, has a place, awesome, great, you know, all green lights so far, you know, and you know, she's out of town sometimes for a job. That's okay, you know. Like I could use a breather too, you know. It's all good there. Here's the thing though, and I swear to God this is true. And keep in mind, you know, this isn't like I'm you know going after a younger woman or you know someone who is you know mentally unstable or at least I don't think so. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, she seems to be afraid of the dark. Let me explain. So she tells me that she doesn't like to go out at night. And I go, okay, you know, that's fair. I get it, especially in today's Toronto. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I don't know. Like I go to Danforth sometimes, which is more Greek town. And yeah, people are, you know, going nuts. I mean, one time I was down there, a bunch of kids were just running down the street, knocking over shit. Another guy picked up something, literally threw it in some guy's business. And we're talking like, you know, on a weekday, like maybe it was like 11 o'clock at night or something, you know, and they just start running down the street, you know, make all this noise. Like it is fucking crazy. Like I don't remember it being this bad. So I get it, you know, from a woman's perspective, you don't like to go out at night. I get it. It's cool. But it's, for some reason I kept saying, I talked about Donkey before in Shrek. Again, I'm gonna have to go back to this. This is just how fate is, or faith, or however you say it. It reminded me of when Princess Fiona would turn into, you know, her version of I don't know, whatever, Shrek. I don't know what it's called. You know. I forgot what the monster's called. I don't know. She would turn green, let's just say. You know, and like she, as soon as the sun goes down, that's, you know, when the pixie dust goes and she, you know, turns into, you know, another version there. But that's what it reminded me of. I don't know why. It kept flashing in my head. I'm like, you know, but then like I'm asking her like why, like the dark, like I mean, like, do you mean, you know, like late at night, like at midnight or something, you know? And you know, yeah, I tell her, like, I work security, I'll protect you, you know, all this shit. I'm trying to be, you know, a little chivalry here, you know, whatever, why not, you know? Doesn't hurt. But then, you know, she says, you know, like that's not really the issue. She's like, your preference is the evening before work, and my preference is the afternoon. Let me explain that. So I wanted to meet her right before I went into work one day, but like it wasn't late at night. It was like it would have been at like 6 o'clock, you know. But you know, listen, I've had everything cock block me, from, you know, relatives to friends to raccoons. Yes, actual animal raccoons. I talk about it on a podcast I did. I still can't believe the shit either. But never the dark. And keep in mind, this would have been around 6 p.m. Yeah, where people are still going out and walking, you know, because of fucking daylight savings time. I'm getting cockblocked by that too. I mean, next it'll be the sun, the moon, the stars. I don't know, fucking asteroids falling out of the earth. Who knows? But you know, but she's like, I'm not quite sure why your preference is what we're going with. You know, it is after all just a preference. You know, and I'm like, I understand that, but you know, 6 p.m. just because it's dark, it doesn't mean it's, you know, the vampires are going to come out. You know what I mean? Like, it's still good. And we're still meeting local. We're meeting in a public place, you know. Going to get some coffee, some overpriced coffee. I mean, you could do the math on what place I'm talking about. And, you know, I'm still like, I guess I feel like I'm grilling her, which, I mean, in many ways I am, because I'm just fascinated by this. I'm like, so you never go out at night? You know, she's like, yeah, it's like 5:30, and I'm under a blanket on the couch. It's been a long day. And I'm like, I get it. So, but she works early in the morning. She starts at like, I don't know, 8 o'clock or something. But I'm like, most people, you know, in the morning start at 8, 9 o'clock. you know, but even still, like they'll go out on a Friday night, Saturday night, and you know, and she goes very rarely unless it's the summer, which I get it. I mean, so the summer I guess extends it a bit till obviously 8, 9, whatever. But I'm still like, yeah. I text her back. I go, wow, that's weird. You know, she's like, or you're weird. All my friends are the same way, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, your friends are fucked up too. You know, and she's like all of us are not are. I don't know what she's saying here. I don't know APME. I don't know what that says, but whatever. Night people, and some of us are morning people. But you just said all your friends are like you, so I don't know like which one it is. She's going back and forth here. And then she's like if you want to have a coffee and go out for a walk at 7 a.m., I would be down for that, you know. And I think I messaged her back saying 7 a.m. Fuck, I don't know, like what are we, 92? I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I'm like, I think you have a fear of the dark. I'm not even like trying to, you know, joke about this, but I think it's there. And she's like, I'm not afraid of the dark. And I'm like, so meet me past 6 then. I mean, what's the big deal? And she's like, in the summer when it's light, super late, then it's easier to convince myself. So right there, to convince myself. So which means she's definitely got a fear of the dark. Something's, yeah, you know. Which again, I'm trying to be sympathetic here, but at the same time, like she's not admitting it, and I don't know, it's a whole thing here. But whatever, convince myself to go out. Now, question mark, no way. I'd rather be under a blanket on the couch. You know, but I'm like, why though? I mean, like, why not, you know, live life, whatever, you know? And she's like, I think it goes back to what I said about preference. I get to have them, and just because they're different than yours doesn't mean, you know, they aren't valid. And I get that. I get it. Like, if she's got the phobia, I get it too, you know? Also, I got to throw in too, she says she's from America, so you know, I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know what's going on. I mean, you know, here's the way I see it. If you can go outside at night in anywhere in the United States of America, Canada should be like a fucking going down the yellow brick road. You know what I mean? So I don't personally see a problem. And then I literally text her. I said, I'm fascinated by this. I really am. And, you know, she's like, I don't understand what's so difficult about this. I prefer to meet in the afternoon, and I rarely go out in the evenings after work, especially once it gets this cold. So now she's throwing in the cold factor, which I don't think it's that cold at 6 p.m. I don't know about you guys. I mean, listen, like, to me, I'm still wearing a spring jacket if it's like 10 degrees. I mean, this is like fucking nothing. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, like you're not Canadian then. Man, because back in the day, it would be a lot fucking worse. I mean, like Al Gore was right about this global warming shit. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, this is like Florida right now. But anyways, the people in my life are the same way. So again, she goes back to that. But then she just said yeah, this is what I'm dealing with. Exactly. And she's like, if I'm dating someone and we're spending the evening in at someone's place, that's fine. But what if she had to travel during, like what if it's nighttime? So does that mean you have to come here when it's daylight, and then, like, once it's nighttime, you're stuck in my place? I mean, is that what? I don't really consider that going out. Well, technically it is. I mean, you're going outside, right? And as far as my work, I work from home, usually from 7 or 11 to 7. So I already work afternoons. Okay, so that's important. So especially daylight savings time, once that shit starts, it's like dark at 4:35. So basically, it seems like during the week, like she'll never go out because she has to wake up, go to work. She's not going to go anywhere, right? I mean, it's dark when she's done work, so I am Dracula. Sorry. I'm just, listen, we're all thinking it, man. Come on. I mean, but she's like, but I don't have to leave my house. I get it, but, you know, I mean, I don't know. I neither did Bill Lugosi. And if they told me I had to go into the office, I would find a different job. Okay, so she's definitely has that phobia of the dark, for sure. I don't know what the fuck it's called. You guys can Google it. Okay, I'm sick and tired of doing everything. But, yeah. So I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, she's got a fear of the dark. Fine. Okay. Whatever. She won't admit it. I don't know why. I mean, it's pretty, fucking obvious. I mean, if you look at me, do you have a problem with carbs? Absolutely. But, I'll fucking admit it. I don't give a shit. Uh, I would meet a friend. Yeah. So like I asked her, like, so what happens if, like you go out late at night? Like, what if there's an anniversary party and if it's nighttime when you have to go out? Like, what do you do? And she's like, I wouldn't meet a friend at a bar at midnight because I think she said in bed by then or whatever. And I'm like, this is like, wow, this is bad. Like, this is a real. Yeah, I mean, it's getting to a point. I feel sorry for this person because it feels like she wouldn't go out. Yeah, she said, yeah, I wouldn't meet him at 8 p.m. if it was light, or I would, nothing makes sense here. I wouldn't meet him at 8 p.m. if it was light. You mean if it wasn't? I forget it. You guys know what I'm trying to say here. But like in the summer when it stays light, and in the evenings, and I get to the boat. All of a sudden, she's talking about boats now. I don't know. Like that's another thing too. I don't know. Like she, like I mean, like maybe I think she has a boat or shares a boat and. Like, what if you're on a cruise? Like, when you not go outside on the cruise, if it's nighttime, or like, is that how bad it get? I don't know. It's like a fucking mystery here. But I want to be home at around 9, so I'm not meeting people at 8, even in July. Wow. So even listen, I think in July, I don't think it's dark at 8. I don't think it is. Is it? No. Yeah, so something going on there. I don't know. And then I said something. She's like, the first time we meet, I'd like to be in the afternoon. Yes, for lots of reasons. Yeah, you said a lot here. But mostly because meeting new people takes energy. Listen, 29 podcasts. I'm right there with you. And I run out of energy after 12 hours. Okay, well, that's I don't think that's healthy anyway. It should be good for at least another 4, right? I mean, I don't know, I'm tired too some days, but shit. I'm working on a podcast that nobody's listening to. Make up for all the scenarios or make all the scenarios you want. I'll watch the sunrise at 5 a.m. Okay, so how's that possible? It's dark. It's still dark. You gotta. Nothing is making sense here with you, but I won't ever meet you at a bar or at the beach or any time after 8. Okay, so you won't see a sunset, or else I don't know, your heart explodes. Who knows? And I even asked her. I'm kind of breaking balls here, I guess, but I said, "Do you sleep with a nightlight?" And she said, "No." And I go, "Why not?" I'm not afraid of the dark. Some would differ. But I don't know. Welcome to my life, guys. Honest though, I'm not sure you and I would work out. Yeah, no fucking shit. And it just at this point I'm just having fun here. I'm just like, oh really? Do tell. What do we have in common? Well, I don't know. I'm a human being and you're not. And it might suck my blood at a certain point of the night if we're under the blanket, I guess. Okay, let's say we have coffee and hit it off. We won't, trust me. What then? What is a fun date night for you? And then as a joke, I said 5 p.m. You answer my questions and I'll answer yours. And again, this goes back to my whole pet peeve. I'm asking her a bunch of shit. She's not answering. She's ironically leaving me in the dark. Thank you. I don't think we're going to be a good fit. I don't see what the point of coffee is. So I assume at this point she never takes her coffee black. And then at this point, because the whole American thing, like I got to dig deeper into this. I'm like, are you a Trump supporter? And I said, this is just hilarious. And she's like, I'm confused. I'm like, okay, so. Chances are she probably is. But then she seemed kind of upset that Trump was elected, so I don't know what's going on, or who knows. And she goes, like, what is your goal at the moment? And I'm like just trying to figure anything out here, like answer any question. That would be great, I've been trying to be nice and give you the benefit of a doubt, but I can see now that it's not working out for me. She said this about 5 times, so there's something wrong with her for sure. I'm not interested in meeting you. I'm not interested in entertaining your ridiculous accusations or questions, and I'd like you to stop texting me now. Yeah, and I think it's safe to say it went pretty much downhill from there. But, and then it got dark and she had to hang up the phone. The, the point is, I mean, but this is how crazy online, you know what I mean? Like, I was so close and yet so fucking far. You know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? It's just crazy. Like, and even at one point, too, I even asked her, I said, so let's say if you go on vacation, she said she likes, to read. I mean, that's one of the things, you can't do in the dark, right? Yeah, I said, so like, let's say you're on the beach. It's a beautiful day. So you're telling me once it hits dark, you go back to your hotel room and you don't go out at night. You don't walk the beach. You don't hang with your friends. You don't, whatever. And she's like, no, once it's dark, I stay in. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy. You need help. And I get it. I mean, there's people, everyone's got their own, phobia or something. The whole afraid of the dark thing. Does it relate to other things? I'm not going to say it. I think a lot of people can read the undertones. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, okay, if you can't go out in the dark, I don't think you're ready for, I was going to say online dating. I was even going to say dating. I don't think you're ready for society. I don't think I don't think life is going to work out for you. I don't think it's just me that's not going to work out. I think you're working at home. It's a whole, clearly she's got, I don't know. It's like the guy in Ace Ventura said, the engine's running, but no one's behind the wheel. You know what I mean? So, but again, she's American. So, I don't know. The last American I went out with, I think she implied for me to, get rid of her ex. Yeah, I told that story a while back there. But anyways, I mean, she had great tits. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, you really have to, like, it's not just the crazy people in jail. There's crazy people out here too, on the mean streets of Toronto. But look, all jokes aside, like if you're not ready to go outside and all this shit, like you can't do dating. You're leading people on, or it's like it's a waste of time for everybody. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying overall in this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, if my 2 cents count for anything, is 2 things. One, I mean, probably more on the ladies' side. I wouldn't date anybody that's still in jail, because technically you really haven't met them, It was a funny Seinfeld episode where George was, going out with the girl in jail, and then he freaked out when she was gonna, eventually get out, and then she broke out, and it's, I mean, fugitive sex is probably awesome, but at the same time, is it worth it, And 2, like, if you're not ready to actually literally go outside yourself and, live life, I don't think, dating is for you, especially online dating. So, call me old fashioned. I, like to meet up with somebody outside, have some fun, That's just me. But how, like, seriously, guys, like, how crazy is that? Like, to go on vacation, and as soon as you see the sun set, like, you just gotta, like, you gotta fucking bounce. I mean, you gotta stay inside. Like, that's not, I mean, what's the point of going on vacation? I mean, again, I mean, there's a part of me I feel sorry for her, but at the same time, I think, I think she's just doing this to herself. And you find that out, too. Like, a lot of people online, they just, you can tell they've been through a lot of shit, and, I mean, I tell these stories and all that just to entertain people and all that, and but at the same time, it is sad, It really is. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I don't have problems, but you know, I think there's a huge reason why a lot of people do online dating, you know, because in many ways it's not really reality, you know, it's just another way of trying to deal with life and kind of, you know, hide your problems and, you know, but like everything rises to the surface, guys, you know. I don't mean to be all philosophical or anything, but, you know, in the end, you got to face your problems. So, wow, they got deep at the end, eh? Shit. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another, well, it's been a bit of a thinker episode in this one. You know, but still thrilling episode of Computer Love, part 29.
Hey, over here!
Shrek, we can do better than that. Now, I don't think this is fit for a princess.
No, it's perfect. It just needs a few homey touches.
Homey touches? Like what?
A door? Well, gentlemen, I bid thee good night.
You want me to come in there and read you a bedtime story? Because I will.
I said good night.